Hello guys, Pepe here again. Well, with the Delica engine now, putting timing belt. It's fairly straightforward, I think. I got it right. Things to mention. I think this is cylinder number 1. This one. See, I have this really long drill bit I have to check, compression stroke. So compression stroke is when it goes up. The cylinder that goes up. So if you rotate the crankshaft, this will go up and then it will go down, and so the next turn you will know that it's going up. And if you have everything in line, basically the crankshaft will align top dead center. That mark here, that one, and that notch there will match, will be aligned with that mark in the casing of the oil pump. And so if you see here, we are pretty aligned there. It's hard to see. It's aligned. You put the tensioner is locked. Has to be like that, so there's no tension at all against the tensioner. The tensioner pulley is loose, so you loosen up all the way, and then you put the belt first in the crankshaft with tension. You go around the tensioner, and then on the right bank first, very tight. It has to be as tight as possible. Then you go down to the water pump. Then you go up to the left bank camshaft, and then once you put it around the camshaft, then you put it on the idler pulley. You don't do it after. Before, because otherwise you can't put it on here. So you put it here. So. And the timing marks are in the valve cover. You see, that's the timing mark. Boom, aligned perfectly there. Aligned perfectly there. So now I have to tie these up with a little bit of tension against it, and tie these up, and then follow the procedure, which, and then I have to return the engine and so on. So one thing to notice is that because the cams are under tension by the rocker arms, when you turn it over, these things will spin really quickly. So if you have your fingers here, you are screwed. You are going to break your fingers for sure. So when you are tightening these up, if you don't have the special tool that uses those 2 bolts there, I use extensions, 1/2-inch extensions, and I put them in the back here, one there and the other one over here. And then when I tie these up, then I was able to lock it and put the 84 Newton meters of torque in each side. So yeah, anyhow, so I cleaned this up very well. The crankshaft position sensors are full of debris inside. This was all full of corrosion. Now it's all cleaned up. So I'm going to follow the rest of the procedure, make sure I'm in timing, is all fine. And this is an interference engine, meaning that if you are in top dead center, completely in top dead center in the crankshaft, and then you try to line this here, the camshaft here, and you try to rotate the engine is not going to spin because the valves are touching the cylinder. So you have to be very mindful about that. And that's why the manual says that when you get to the timing position, you back it off a little bit, so that you are before top dead center, and then you align the camshafts. Otherwise, they're going to touch the cylinder number 1. So be mindful of that. The manual says everything. You should follow that. But I just wanted to show you how it looks like. I wanted to show you something because actually it's not done correctly. So I wanted to show you how it looks like when it's not correct. And so basically, like I explained before, you put the timing belt here, you go around. This is completely loose. Now it's not, because I follow the procedures, and you go around here, you go around there, put it here, and then you pass it behind this, and then you put tension against it, move it over. The retention is not doing anything, it's just tension against the bearing here. So now it's tight, and then you turn it counterclockwise a quarter turn, and then you turn again, and then you see the timing mark. So if you look at here, I'm aligned perfectly there, but now I'm the tooth off on the camshaft. See? they don't align. I'm not aligned there. Same here. You see, I'm a tooth off. I should be on this one. So I have to do it again. So for that, basically, I need to undo this guy again. Take the tension off. See, you just move it over because it's offset. So now the tension is off, and now I have to do it again, basically. Yeah, so I just wanted to show you that, because to make sure that you are aligned, the timing marks are aligned, etc. So basically, I need to back off this one a little bit less than I did originally, so that the timing belts, the timing marks align. I have been kind of stopped by hoses and things like that I wanted to buy. There's an example here. Sorry about this. Well, these are some of the hoses, fuel hoses. This hose is nowhere to be found. You know, I think it's a fuel hose. You can see it here. Oh, why is it not there? Come on, do your thing. No, there. Well, you can see that when I press it, this thing is all brittle that it's so hard, and it's a hose. This is a fuel hose. So I bought a bunch of hoses. Some of them are, you know, this is for the rear cooling. This hose seems to be fine. You know, it's just the clamps, you know, it's a little swelling here. I mean, but you know, it has a few years of life, I think, out of it. But you know, I bought a bunch of brand new cooling hose. So I'm like, I mean, this is all bent and in shape or whatever. Some people think that you have to have the bend and all that. I don't believe so. These hoses are brittle hoses. You can use fuel hose, but these are all like super hard. So I have, you know, this kind of fuel hose that I bought. So this is a 1/4 inch and a half, you know, it's the same width, same ID. So I'm going to be using that, and I bought a bunch of, you know, heater hose for the cooling hoses that are, some of them are bad, you know, like this kind. These kind of hoses. Some of them are big, some of them are small. But the reason why I wanted to show you this video is because this hose, which is this one here, that I cut, it has this shape here. Well, it was 40 bucks, I think. This is a breather hose, a simple breather hose, which has that shape. It goes like this. And I cut the ends, because the ends, this hose is not flexible at all. It's a piece of plastic basically, and you can see it's all fucked. Sorry about that word. Anyhow, so I bought these 7/8, I think it is, no, 7/16 fuel hose, which is actually better than this one. So this will, this is not for high pressure fuel injection, but we are not using it for fuel. This hoses last way longer than those hoses. This was 10 bucks for 3 feet. I needed this piece, not a bigger one, but I think that there is few other hoses are this size that I want to change. I mean, for fuel you have to use fuel hose. If you are using fuel injection, then you need to get the high pressure one, which is $50 more per foot. And for this kind of stuff, it's not high pressure, it's a breather hose. You can even use a heater hose, but I want to put a fuel hose because this is right beside the fuel. It gets really hot and they last longer. And so but I was not going to pay 48 bucks and wait a month from Japan to come here. So this is a neoprene jacket for the hose. I actually took the same neoprene jacket out of the other hose, put the same clamps. 7/16 is a little bit smaller than the original size, but it's super tight. I put the original clamps. It doesn't really need clamps. It will not come out. And the bend is perfect and it's not kinked at all. So there you go. For less than $10, because you can buy this exactly the same, just 1 foot, you will get the same hose, better hose, looks exactly the same, almost original, doesn't have a Mitsubishi part number, and it doesn't cost $48. So you can do this. Don't be stupid. Same with these hoses here. You know, these hoses are cooling hoses. This hose was a little bit deformed, but I'm going to cut it here. But the hose itself is super soft, no problems. The same with this one. This one had the bends, so I just kept them. But you don't have to actually use this hose. You can buy another one and another cooling hose and put it in. But these are super small, very low pressure. There's no hard pressure at all. So yeah, so I'm using that. So that's how you can save money. This one I think is fine, but anyhow, so yeah, so that's how I'm going to replace the hoses, because it was like $150 in hoses, $100 in hoses, $300 in shipping, and one of them was $48, which is this one, and now I pay $10, and I have a bunch of other hoses and this. So there you go, ways to save money. And what I'm waiting for this stupid tool that I'm going to have to build, which pushes pressure this way, and then you tie this one to this way, so you know it takes the slack. Well, I have to do that. It's all the timing belt is all together. The trick with the clips of going from here to there was awesome, but I need to put the right pressure here. And so I'm going to build a tool with a piece of iron I have, and we'll weld it together anyways. So yeah, I couldn't line up the timing marks. Now you can see they're aligned. I mean, it's like almost perfect. And if it was one tooth back or forward, would be out of place. So I did a mark down there, you see. Because it's easier to line it that way, and you see it's the line there. Same thing here. Sorry, there and here. And that's after like few turns of the motor, of the engine, clockwise. So this way, you know. So what happened was that it was pretty difficult to put the tension on the tensioner here. So like some Mitsubishi's Volkswagen on the engines are very similar, but they have a different tensioner where they have another pulley like this and the tensioner here, and then you pull it, boom, and that's it. But this one is not like that. You need a special tool to pull this down, and it goes, you see, it's like a upside down smiley face or sad face, well, I guess. And so the bolt is on top and the two little holes are in the bottom, but when you put this on, this is facing this way, so you have to turn it this way. 40 pounds. 40 pounds. That's the timing belt kit. They use that tool, as you can see, that one. And you push it this way, and then you tie that bolt at the same time. And that is about 40 pounds, I think, that you have to do against. So you kind of need the tool, because you know, needle pliers, yeah, you can do it. And the key is that once the tension is good, this should move freely, you know, and it's pretty loose. It doesn't turn really fast, but it's loose, you know. I can move it really easily. There's no tension. So you put the tension that way, and while you're holding the tension, you crank it, the torque this way for that bolt. That is this bolt here, that one, which is 48 mm. So you have to hold both wrenches together, and without the tool it's impossible. Well, it's not impossible, I tried it. So what I did is that I built my own tool, because I was not going to wait or buy that one. So what I did is I grabbed a piece of metal that I have here, of plate. I think I got a 1/4 inch. I had it for a long time. I can't remember where it came from. I think my friend brought it. And so basically what I did is that I I have a welder, so it would be really hard for you to, without a welder, to do it, but I think it's possible. It would be possible. So basically what I did is I drilled, these are the drill bits that I used to drill the holes, which fit in this hole, which I can tell you the size in a minute. Let me see. So the size that I use, this is one of those very cheap drill things that were on sale for like, not like 20 bucks or whatever it is. So this is 1/8 drill bit, and that fits perfectly in the hole. So sorry, let's do this again. Let's do it the proper way, where I show you that it actually fits. So this is the drill bit, and so this is the tool, and if I put the drill bit here, it fits perfectly there. I mean, this must be a metric hole, of course, and of course I don't have a metric drill bit, and this one's the better. The next one over is this, which is 532s, and it doesn't fit, you see. So I had to use this ones. So I made a template of paper, a very, very shitty template of paper. I drilled the holes through, I marked the holes, and then I drilled them using the same drill bits I was going to weld on. And then I basically, you see this is a template, shitty template that I put here. And you see this is all pulley, and there's the mark of the washer. So I basically put it like this. I didn't care about the washer. I drilled the holes, put the 2 drill bits here, and then I cut this edge. And I didn't care how good it was, because I knew I was going to have to grind it anyways. And then I cut this piece of metal like that. Oops, sorry, like that. And then I put the 2 drill bits here, and made it fit, I think. No, actually I welded this first. So I welded the drill bits, which I was using too hot of a setting, and I burned through, so I had to remove one. Anyways, so I welded both of them. I tacked them on in place, but I didn't cut them, so I left it really long. These are cut it off, so I left it really long, and then I put them like this to fit on top of the holes. It fit perfectly, and I was okay, perfect. So I basically weld the back, then I weld 2 more welds with good penetration on both sides, and then I overheated this side and basically melted. Then I grind off this, and I grind off this, and then I start trimming the the clearance for the washer that goes here. And so I did that, and anyway, so I grind it for a while, and then I welded the nut. This is a 17 millimeter nut, and that was it. So this, if we take it over here and we grab it, we put it here, it fits right there, you see. Chunk. It's not perfect, but it's 40 pounds. So this, pretty sure this will do 150 pounds or 100 pounds, and it will not break. So anyway, so 40 pounds that way, and torque wrench the other way, and I was able to do it. Maybe it's a little bit tighter, but there's no slack. It's pretty tight here, it's pretty good. So yeah, it's good. So that's a tool. This is the second tool I built, because I built another tool once. This is for a Mercedes 660, whatever, the diesel 3. It was a 1997 300D diesel with a OM 606 whatever engine. I can't remember. No, it's a non-turbo version, and this was to undo the tensioner, I think it was. Anyway, I can't remember. So I had to build a bunch of nuts together because I was not going to pay $30 for this thing. Anyhow, so that's how it looks like. And so now of course I checked top dead center with the valves closed and all that kind of stuff, so it's all good now. And now I'm going to put the rest of stuff together, and you know, the covers and all that, and water pump thingy, whatever it is. So that's what I'm doing next. But I'm going to do a few more turns, make sure everything is good. I use this as a rod for check where the piston was, and anyhow, so that's where I'm at. And I got all the rest of the pulleys now, so I should be able to put the engine together. The only thing I'm missing is the exhaust manifold gaskets, those over there, the copper ones. I'm going to try to find them somewhere. I mean, they look so bloody standard. I'm pretty sure from another car I'm going to find them, but I don't want to wait for shipping or anything. It's the last two pieces I need. So anyhow, another tip for you guys to save some money. I end up using this weather stripping for like a window seal, whatever, like a 1/4 inch by an inch or something like that width. So I cut it off. It's not perfect, you know. I take this off while I'm installing it, but because it's soft but actually taller than the original. Where's the piece? I forgot. Here. So this is the original. It comes out of it. You know, it goes like that. It's installed like this. See, it's almost flash to both sides. This one is thicker, is softer, so it's going to get crunched down, and it's going to seal better, in my opinion. This is closed cell foam, and it's the same type of stuff. I mean, with time it's going to burn out, but who cares? But it has a sticky side, so I take the sticky side and I push it with the screwdriver, and it looks wonderful. Look at that. So yeah, so easy peasy. Use a ruler, cut it, straight edge, and that's about it. So I'm going to do this and then install the covers. I was installing the timing belt covers, but I need to install this part here. I can't remember the name now, but it goes on top of the water pump. And funny enough, so this is the water pump that came with the Delica. I think it's the original one. And you see there is a little hole there that doesn't do anything. But in this one, there is that thread. So you don't have to use it, of course. But the problem is that this thing here, this distance from here to here is too high, and it's touching this part here. So it doesn't actually allow me to put the bolts easily, because the casting here is not flat. It's not flat like this one. You see, this one is really flat. There's no casting. Maybe this was sanded after the fact. Like you can see casting here, you can see it here. So I think there's someone flatter there. So I'm going to have to basically sand this so that it fits correctly, because it's just a little bit, you see, it's just a little bit too high. So I'm going to sand it with this thing. I have this green corpses from 3M, and that's how they are called. So I'm going to just go over and flat it to make it flat, and so I can install it. You see, I have to take a little bit out, which is basically part of the casting. And yeah, so an interesting problem I just found that I thought you guys should know. All right, see you later.